Hello guys, this is Yata here. Welcome to a high rated Master Duel replay, and this time I'm piloting Virtual World and I'm going up against Drytron, so hope you guys enjoy this replay. Let's get started. So on my opening hand I start off with Jolan Lockbird, Maxi, Roshi, Emergency Teleport, and Forbidden Chalice, and I still don't know what my opponent is playing, but let's get started. I'm gonna start off by activating E-Telly. So I was kind of hoping that I didn't get ashed or anything, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to play. I would just pass. But now I'm activating Roshi, targeting my Neon to send a copy of Qinglong from deck to graveyard. Activate Qinglong effect to add a copy of Lulu. So right here I decide to, like, I have to think about it pretty well, because I'm like, do I really want to get rid of Forbidden Chalice, Maxi, or Jordan Lockbird? So I thought the only one that's not technically an interruption is Max C, so unfortunately I had to get rid of Max C. So I'm activating Lulu, targeting my Neon, sending a copy of Chuchi to graveyard, adding a copy of Kowloon from deck to hand. And I'm gonna go ahead and synchro both of those off for a copy of Shenshen. And now I'm gonna activate. I wanted to summon Shenshen before I activated Kowloon, so I could get another card banished. So my Chuchi would be live, because now Kowloon is gonna get banished. So now that gets banished. So now I have two banished cards, the Qinglong and the Kowloon. And I'm going to go ahead and set my Forbidden Chalice. So I end up with a Shenshen that's able to banish anything that leaves the field. A Forbidden Chalice, set down a live Chuchi to pop a face-up card on the field, and a Jolan Lockbird in my hand. So I'm feeling pretty confident here, even though I don't know what deck I'm playing against. So now my opponent, let's see what he starts off with. So he's gonna go ahead and normal summon out the Diviner. So I'm like, oh crap, he's playing Drytron. Once you get to high rated, all you see is Drytron and Virtual. Those are like the most represented decks in high rated. So as expected. So he goes ahead and sends the Herald of the Arc Light to add a copy of Ben 10. And right here, I'm gonna go ahead and chain the Droll and Lockbird, because Droll has always been good against Drytron, but unfortunately he does have the Call by the Grave to negate the Droll and Lockbird. So I was like, man, I could have stopped his turn if it wasn't for the Droll and Lockbird, for the Call by the Grave. So he's gonna go ahead and activate the Delta, pitching out Ben 10. Ben 10 is gonna go ahead and add a copy of uh, the orange. Um, so he wants to be protected against a monster effect or something like that. Now he's gonna go ahead and synchro both of those off for a Black Rose Dragon. And this was kind of shocking to me. I was not expecting the Black Rose. I was like, I didn't know exactly what he was going to. I thought he was gonna go into like a Nightmare Phoenix to try to out my Chuchi or my back row, but he ends up going for Black Rose, which would have been deadly had I not had the Forbidden Chalice. So I'm, uh, I'm gonna go ahead and activate the Forbidden Chalice. I don't want my whole board to get blown up, of course. So that gets negated. Now he's gonna go ahead and activate the Alpha effect, pitching out Ben 10. And he's gonna grab a copy of the Ultimus. Now activate Ben 10 effect to add a copy of Ava. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate Medionis. So right here, based on the stuff he has been adding to his hand, like Ava, Ultimateness, I had in the back of my head, I'm like, he probably doesn't have that many Drytron monsters, if any, in his hand, right? So that's why I decided to chain the Chuchi to pop the Alpha to chaining to the Medionis, because if he doesn't have any other Drytron names in his hand, that he won't be able to ritual summon at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the Alpha right here. So by shuffling both of those back, that gets banished, and now the Medionis gets banished. So a lot of decks only run one Medionis. So if that was the case, he won't be able to ritual summon anymore. So, and now he's gonna go ahead and just pass turn. He's gonna beat over my Shenshen. Now I draw into the Neon, normal summon on Neon, activate Neon effect in graveyard. So he's gonna go ahead and negate that by pitching out the Ava and the Orange Light from their hand. He doesn't want my Neon to come back for some reason. And now he's gonna activate Ava effect to banish 2 to add a copy of Orange and the Diviner. So I'm gonna go ahead and synchro both of these off for a copy of the Stardust Charge Warrior because I wanted to get that +1 draw, but he's gonna go ahead and negate that with orange, pitching out the Natasha and orange to negate my Stardust Charge Warrior, and that gets destroyed now. Now I'm gonna activate Shenshin effect, banishing out. So right here I did make a mistake, and I'll tell you guys where I made the mistake. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and banish out Maxi and my Roshi. So to special summon out Shenshin from the graveyard. That's why I love Shenshin, to be able to recur itself every single turn. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But now I'm gonna go ahead and beat over the Black Rose. That gets banished. And then I'm gonna activate Chuchi effect to up the level of my Shenshin, just so I can get enough targets for the Shenshin for Chuchi. So now my Chuchi is live. I made the mistake of not banishing 2 virtual world cards with Shenshin. Oh yeah, I don't think I could have anyways. No. So never mind. I'll tell you guys where I made the mistake. I should have returned a card with Shenshin back to the graveyard, and that's gonna bite me in the rear, as you will be able to tell. So, because Shenshin needs monsters with different types and attributes, so I should have returned one of the banished monsters to the graveyard. Even if I wasn't gonna use it for any other reason, it would have been useful. But so that goes to the end phase, and now it's their turn. So the only thing I'm afraid of here is like a Zeus play. So that's what I'm kind of like terrified of, because a Zeus would end my entire turn basically. So gonna go ahead and normal summon out Diviner, pitch out a copy of Elder Entity Ints, and he pops my Shenshin. Gonna go ahead and attack me. I don't want to pop the Diviner because it doesn't really bother me. He's gonna poke me for a little bit of damage. So I'm saving my Chuchi for something like important, right? So over here I draw into Chalice. So I'm like, oh man, I need to draw like a virtual world monster that I can target Chuchi with. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the Chalice. Now he's gonna go ahead and activate Alpha, pitching out the Ultimateness to grab a copy of Ben 10. Now he's gonna go ahead and link both those off for Union Carrier, and I'm gonna go ahead and chain the Chuchi right here because I don't want him to be activating the Union Carrier. I'm gonna return both of those to the deck, pop that, and pass turn. So now I draw into Pot of Desires, and that's a very good draw. That's a very good draw. So he chains Maxi right here, so I'm like, oh man, that kind of sucks, but I don't know exactly why he chained the Maxi. You don't really want to chain Maxi on Virtual World. Like, you don't want to blindly do it. Like, all of the Virtual World monsters, they start a chain, right? So whenever you target something that starts a chain, what that means is that you always have a window of opportunity to activate Maxi, like, without having to risk them not special summoning any monsters. So you want to save your Maxi until like they activate one of the Virtual World monsters effects in hand. That's like the best way to Maxi when you're playing against Virtual World. So, but anyways, I draw into Chuchi and Pot of Desire, so I wasn't playing anyway. So now it's his turn. He's gonna go ahead and activate Alpha, pitching out Ben 10 to grab a copy of the Draconets. Activate Ben 10 effect to add a copy of the Diviner. Normal summon out Diviner. I'm gonna go ahead and chain that because I don't want my Chuchi to get popped. I was afraid of them having another copy of the Elder Entity Ints and popping my Chuchi. So, and I also didn't want the Diviner to gain levels, because if you don't know, this actually gains levels based on what you send. So, and if he sends something like a Herald, there are like, it was gonna be able to add something. So activates Zeta, pitching out the Draconets. Now it's gonna go ahead and synchro all of those off for a Herald of the Arc Light. An interesting play right there. But now it's gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a copy of the Kowloon, which is very good because that allows me to activate a Qinglong from the deck. And Qinglong is like an imperm. You can negate a face of monster's effect by banishing a virtual world card. So I'm gonna go ahead and banish out Kowloon to negate the Arc Light. I activate Pot of Desires, and he chains the Herald of the Arc Light for some reason. It was already negated. Sure, it leaves the field, but it's already negated. Now, if something like Skill Drain was out on the field, then you can activate Herald of the Arc Light, and it will still resolve successfully because they act different, right? Stuff like Imperm, stuff like Qinglong, they negate practically forever for that turn, as long as that monster is face up on the field. So, but Skill Drain only negates stuff that stays on the field, if that makes sense. So now I'm gonna go ahead and activate Desires to draw 2. So I'm just kind of hoping I draw some monsters here. So I'm drawing to the Roshi, which is very good right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate Roshi, send a copy of Kowloon, special summon on Neon effect to special summon itself out. I'm gonna go ahead and synchro both those off for a Jiju. Neon effect to shuffle back one of my Qinglongs back in the deck. I'm gonna go ahead and overlay both of those off for an M7, and M7 is clutch right here because it's able to give me resources. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a copy of Lulu. And right here, I'm gonna activate Lulu, send copy of Qinglong, and I don't think I had any more monsters in my deck, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just attack and attack. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use the M7 to overlay him into to make Zeus, since I attacked with an XYZ. So now I have a Chuchi plus a Divine Arsenal Zeus, so a Sand and a Pop, so plus follow up. So now it's gonna go ahead and start out by activating Cyber Emergency, adding a copy of Gamma. Alpha effect, pushing out Gamma to special summon that out. It's gonna go ahead and link that off for Linkuribo. So I think he doesn't have any more resources right here. I'm gonna activate Chuchi during the end phase to pop, but he surrenders. He didn't have any more resources. I think the Midi Onus getting banished because of Shenshin was huge. A lot of deck lists, like Drytron deck lists, they only run one Midi Onus, so if you're able to banish it, it hurts them a lot. So even chaining something like a Cosmic Cyclone is huge against Drytron, right? Like you're able to banish the Midi Onus. But yeah, that was a pretty cool gameplay that I wanted to share with you guys. But if you want to send me replays, just make sure to send me your player ID and make the replay public so I can see it, and I'll be able to post it on the channel and give you a shout out. I'm only taking stuff that's gold or higher. So if you've been playing ranked and you've gotten to gold or platinum, then I want your replays if you want to show me one. So you can always just message me at my Discord. I'm gonna have my Discord in the description below as well. But as always, guys, this was Yata here, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.